Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
And welcome.
Happy Tuesday. Hope your weekend was amazing and filled with rest.
Yes. We sure hope it was. And today we're going to be talking about why the odds that however the chips are stacked in your life, they do not matter.
They don't matter.
They do not matter. And before we kick this off, as usual, we're going to go ahead and begin with some Oak Ridge Cabernet. Okay, so we'd like to thank Allie, one of our close friends,
Yes.
who drove all the way up to Orlando from South Miami to bring us this bottle because she's been tuning in and she understands that we love red wine. And if you should happen to mention that we should, taste a particular red wine, we'll give it a shot. We'll join you for a glass and we'll give you a shout out. So thank you once again.
Yes, absolutely.
So cheers.
Cheers. All right. So
yes, let's kick off this Talk Tuesday. Should I begin?
do it.
So the whole point of the topic today is in recognition that no matter what you have experienced, whatever your circumstances are, no matter how bad a situation may look, it doesn't matter. Not everything that you've gone through in your life is for a particular reason, for a particular purpose. And so therefore, grow through this process, grow through these lessons, grow through your situation, because your story will be beneficial to your children, family and friends, and other people that come along your journey. So just to bring this home and talk about how the odds don't matter, I'll share a little bit about my life and where I've come from. And so let's talk about it. The obvious, I'm a black male, right? So I'm a black male. I am born and raised, I come from Newark, Newark, not North. I come from Newark, New Jersey. That's another plus right there. It was one of the top most dangerous cities, top 5 in the United States to live in. And so it's one of those areas where you are not really expected to make it out alive. You don't really make it to 18. And if you do, people celebrate it, So cheers to everybody and shout out to people back home in North New Jersey. But for people who coming from rough neighborhoods where, people are saying, because you grew up in this area, you have a poor education or you have a poor school system. No one can steal your mind. No one can steal your mind. Open a book, read a book, please. We're begging you to go out and read a book, learn something, because
visit new places, expose yourself to new opportunities and cultures.
Certainly, and so I'm one of those kids that excelled in my studies since a very young boy. I ended up going to Penn State University, and so here I am, leaving the city of Newark, going to Penn State University. So shout out to all my Nittany Lions out there. Woo-hoo. And I have a crazy story to tell about my whole journey there, which I'll get to at another time. But trust me, when we say the odds don't matter, and we say that no matter what you've been through, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, just because you go through something does not mean that you're at a loss. Ask God, check in with yourself, gain further understanding to why you're experiencing this situation right now. And so no matter what you're going through, we want to remind you that everything's going to be okay. God has already written your story. The question is, how long are you going to delay what he has in store for you? So that's pretty much where I want to go with that,
Which is a perfect segue into the idea that perspective is everything.
Yes.
The way that you look at the situations that come into your lives, the people that are in your lives, the hardships and the obstacles that you face, your perspective, it gives you an amazing vantage point in how to perceive the situation as a learning opportunity. Right?
Oh, certainly.
So I am a big proponent of the idea that perseverance builds character. Huge. I'm huge on that because the reality is no one's life is perfect.
No.
And we all have experiences that have the opportunity to make or break us.
Oh man.
Like we all have those
Yes,
opportunities,
yes.
whether you experience it in a relationship, whether you experienced it financially, whether you experienced it socially.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had moments where we have experienced some type of a void, or just a meteor thrown at you.
Hardship, challenges.
Right. And so the way that you look at those situations and the way that you choose to interpret those moments provide you the opportunity to learn and grow.
You know, I have a great example, if you don't mind. I have a great example. Going deeper into like my story and like things I've experienced, and from
your stories,
from where we just closed out with the odds don't matter, right? Yeah. And going from whatever stacked against you doesn't matter, leading into perception is everything, because that's where we are. And so I was one of the thousands of students that had an extended college career, undergrad. I had an extended undergrad college career. And
meaning it wasn't the traditional.
It was not the traditional 4 years, just a little bit, just a tad longer. And I'll dive into that later. But when I lost my student aid, when I lost my student aid, and I was on academic probation, and I was looking at being someone that was going to leave the university or someone that was going to transfer to another school, I reminded myself of the goal that I set forth when I was graduating from high school. It was really simple to me. I was just going to graduate. It didn't matter how. I just knew I was going to graduate, and because my why was so strong, all the hardship that came my way didn't matter. So rather than sitting here being, disappointed about financial aid, or feeling, having feelings of like, abandonment, or sitting here and, feeling like lost, I decided to stick to the goal of focusing on graduating. And what I would do is, and here's perspective, I would go to the registrar's office at the beginning of the semester, before the first week of classes, just so I can make a schedule, because I wanted to graduate. I knew the money wasn't coming in at the end of the semester. Had no idea how I was going to pay for my classes, but I still went to classes. I still sat in the front row. I dressed nicely and sat in the front row. And I took exams semester after semester, knowing that these grades may not count. They may not go towards what I'm working for right now, but I was willing to stick through it. So perspective really is everything, because I decided to work extremely hard on my goal of graduating. And at the same time, I lived a very, very balanced life, being able to give back to the community, join a fraternity, and really stay active.
But see, I think a big part of that too, which you mentioned, is knowing what your why was. Mm-hmm. You had a goal. You were committed to that goal.
I did.
And so that allows you to stay focused. And so with everything, that also is going to be incredibly important. What is your why for persevering?
Yes.
Whether that be family, whether that be your future, whether that be financial security, what is your why?
Mm-hmm.
Perspective is everything.
Perspective is everything. Yes, it is.
So
that leads us to our third point. We dive directly into you control the narrative. And so we started off the conversation this evening talking about why whatever you're going through isn't much a big deal other than a life lesson, something to learn.
Yep.
Going into your perspective, because really the way you see things are the way they are usually going to turn out. Now we get into designing and creating the story, because here's where your beliefs about yourself, about the lifestyle you have, about the bank account you have, about the friends you have, about the family you have, all of that stuff comes down to your belief system.
Yep.
And what you believe the story is. If you tell yourself you're not going to amount to nothing, most likely you're right. They usually say that what you say to yourself, you're both right.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, you're still right.
Yeah.
So if you tell yourself, hey, I'm broke, guess what?
I believe
you're broke.
Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't.
You're both correct.
Yeah.
You're both right. And so we want people to walk away from this conversation understanding that, listen, everything you go through in life has created you. And if you love yourself, which you should, because you're amazing, if you love yourself, you're going to appreciate every single detail about who you are and what you've been through. I tell Marsha and I tell other people this all the time. The moment I change one situation, one experience, you get a completely different person. I may not even be sitting on this couch right now, even having this conversation. Who knows? I would have graduated in 4 years. I don't know. But I have a story to tell. And that story did not break me. It created the man that I am. A lot of people don't really find out who they are until they get backed into a corner, and then now you're forced to strike. The goal is to no longer have to be forced into a corner in order to strike. You talk about perspective. Have you ever had a sheriff knock on your door and say, listen, grab everything you can in 10 minutes. You have to go. And yeah, I've experienced that. And guess what? I got my things and I still went to class. So talking about your whys and being able to stay focused no matter what.
Oh, you need to give some context because the sheriff knocking at your door talking about you need to go. You need to please give the people some context, okay?
Okay, so listen, going back to my extended career as an undergraduate student, I chose more. My choice came down to go to class or go to work. At this time in my life, I chose to simply go to class because that's what I was there for. I went to school to go to class, not to be working 40 plus hours or whatever per week, 80 hours if I needed to make some dollars, which probably may have saved me some time, but you know, this is my story and I love it. This is my story.
You're sticking to it.
And I'm sticking to it. That's right. So how about
your belief system? Yeah, belief system has to be solid.
Definitely.
It has to be solid. We've mentioned this in previous Talk Tuesday topics.
Yes.
That your standards have to be on such a level that you can't be rocked by anything.
Yes, and you know, you got to understand who you are while you're growing through the process. And with most and with most goals, you start at the end. It's the ultimate outcome. What am I working towards, right? And so, like, a good example is when I was becoming a pro bodybuilder, when I was working on becoming a pro athlete. It wasn't that I got on stage and it gave me a trophy and a sword and said, "Hey, you're the first place winner. You won the overall for tonight." That moment did not create the pro. The pro was created when he said, "I'm going after it." When he said, "I'm going to do this workout," when he said, "I'm going to eat this food," when he said, "I'm going to drink this amount of water." It was a process that I was going through that got me there. People, you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing in order to live your best life. You may just be aiming that energy in the wrong direction. And what I mean by that is, some people may say, you know, well, I just want to travel more. I just want to travel more, you know. That's really what I want to be doing with my life. And you may be going to, let's say, Texas, or you might be going out to California. You may be going to New Jersey, but you haven't specified where you want to go.
How much
by when? That's what goal setting.
Specific.
Yes.
Incredibly specific. We've mentioned this before as well. SMART goaling. If you guys have never heard of this before, please look it up.
Yes.
But it's all about being specific.
Yes, about every single detail.
About every detail. It's a matter. Okay, I wanna lose weight. Well, I wanna lose this many pounds by this date and time. Like, we've gotten to the point where our goals have timestamps.
That's right.
So it's, I'm going to get this X, Y, and Z by 4 p.m. on this particular date.
Yes.
Very, very, very specific. And thoughts become things.
Yes, thank you, Kai Green, for that one.
Thoughts become things.
It's
incredibly important for you to realize, just as we had mentioned before, that your perspective, whether positive or negative, will bring into fruition tangible things. And so it's incredibly important to focus on, again, those correct perspectives and the opportunities that exist, because situations are going to come throughout life. That's the
way it goes. And you know, people say this all the time, and it's said in a lot of different ways. Act as if.
Yes.
Right? Act as if. Fake it till you make it.
Yes.
You know, all those fun terms that simply mean become who you already want to be right now. Right in this moment, right now. Dress the part. Exactly. Own every single part of it, because, you know, I said to Marsha, you know, It's not like someone told me, this is what it means to be a great dad. No, I said, this is who I see myself being as a dad. I chose to be this type of person. The husband that I am, I want to be a great husband. And so every day that process is going to be continuous because you're continuously working on it. Same thing with being a father. You want to be a great dad. You got to give it direct attention and effort. With all relationships, you simply need to build on them consistently. But one of the most things you want to focus on so that you can get to that level is yourself. Yep. Focus on you first. That is the number one thing that you can do, because if you're going to tell the story, right, you want to tell it right. And so if somebody's going to talk about you, you want to have some clarity. You want to make sure they tell it right. This is exactly who this person is. And so believe in yourself. Take all of those thoughts, and I mean the positive ones, keep them. Throw the negative ones out. We're going to be supplying you guys with a ton of tools that you can start applying to your life right now that will allow you to just start to build that positivity or that positive brain space in your mind. One of the exercises you can do tonight. You can do this tonight, and we do this every single night. The mirror exercise. Yes. We write this down on our calendar. We do it as if we're drinking water. It's a ritual, okay? And so with the mirror exercise, what you want to do, and you can do this tonight, you're going to go to the mirror, you're going to look yourself dead in the eyes, and you're going to first say, hello, state your name, and I'm going to go, hello, Kevin. How you doing, Kevin? And I'm going to take some time out to acknowledge you and to thank you for all of the amazing things that you've done today, because I love you, and I want to take the time to do so. So let's start with this morning. You got up this morning, you made the bed because you knew your wife would enjoy that, okay? You took your daughter to school this morning. You got your son dressed up for school today. You took the time to write out some personal emails that really needed to get sent out so you can propel your business forward, ... You want to start to tell your things, all the things you believe the outside world should tell you, the world should tell you, but they do not. And it's super, super important. He has told me or taught me that it's super important to recognize all the little things and all of the big things. So it can be something as small as, great job for showing up to work on time. That's right. And it's a huge thing. Super, super, super simple, but something that should be recognized. It makes you feel good. Because here's the thing. My love language is words of affirmation. And so I'm always speaking to people with my heart and with positive messages. I say thank you a lot. I appreciate you. And a lot of times, you look for it, but you don't get it back. And it's not the other person's fault. They didn't know that's what you wanted, And so for you to take the time and really just get to know yourself and to say all of the things that you know that you felt you personally accomplished, it means a lot. And it may seem silly day one, but by the time you get to day 30, because it takes 30 days to create a behavior, it's 30 consecutive days to create that behavior and 13 weeks to master it. And so we practice this daily. And at the end of every single mirror exercise, the last thing you want to do is look yourself in the eyes and go, hey, Kevin, I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I love every part of you. Let's continue to be amazing. And matter of fact, let's be even better tomorrow. So really talk to yourself and get to know yourself. And now that you have built that energy and that power up in your life, now it's time to create your story. Now, something just to quickly interject. You had mentioned, your words of affirmation. Yes. So Kevin is very big on getting verbal feedback. I am? I not so much. However, I'm very critical in self-assessment. You are acts of service. I am acts of service. If I do not make the bed, I know. Yes, this is correct. Yes, this is correct. So he wins brownie points for making up the bed. Got that right. So I am very critical in self-assessment. And so for me, having those conversations, being able to acknowledge those things, for me, what I've actually been doing is writing them down. Yes. I have a little book where I'll write down my wins for the day, but being able to see those things allows me to be aware of the fact that maybe there are some things that I did have on my radar that I wasn't able to successfully attain, but that doesn't mean that the whole day was a loss. Yes. It doesn't mean that there weren't successes in my day. It's just being
being purposeful and being aware of those little itty bitty things, and then you realize that page can very quickly start to fill up, and you can start to flip some of those negative or that negative self-talk into positive self-talk and reinforcing great behaviors and thoughts.
And that's something that we're going to do from this episode going forward, if we have yet to do it, which I believe we already did, which was we're going to give out these nuggets that you can apply to your life immediately. So take advantage of the mirror exercise, because trust me, you will no longer look for anybody to tell you who you are, what you're capable of doing, or even look to your spouse to give you, show you appreciation, which isn't a bad thing because your spouse will acknowledge you. I'm talking about when it's like every single thing you're like, man, you didn't notice that? No, tell it to yourself, because then you feel confident, you feel comfortable, you've acknowledged yourself for those things, and then you can move on with the rest of your life. The goal here is to get all of this negative energy, negative like stuff that's in your brain, just out. We want this stuff out of our minds so that we can focus on a real reason why each and every one of us are here, to show love, and we're talking about God's love, but to also progress as people, because we all have unique gifts and talents, and the next generation does not deserve for us to not leave our stamp on the present. So do your part. Do your part.
Awesome.
Amen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we are, looks like we have come to a close. We got to the end of our conversation today. We focused on one main topic, which was the odds don't matter. And that simply means that no matter what you're up against, your situation and everything that you've experienced in your life to the very present, to this moment right now, it does not matter. It has built you stronger. You have grown through it. And if you have not, we encourage you to reflect on all of you so that you can bring all of those people into the present, because you're super amazing and everything that you're looking for is already within you.
Yep. And as a reminder, perseverance builds character. So just keep pushing.
Keep on pushing. So remember that we love you. We believe in you. Remember the mirror exercise and these three things. 1, whatever you're going through doesn't matter. 2, perception is everything. And 3, you are always in control of the narrative. Tell the story that you know is true, and show the version of you that you would like everyone to see. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in for this Talk Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.